Okay, that's so much better. Hey, YouTube, this is the recap for the Cucumber Season 1 finale, which, it had its moments, it had its good moments, and it had its moments that was making me want to roll my motherfucking eyes. The Collective, people. Come on now. Okay, so here's what. At the end of episode 7, we end with this very fantastical looking party that just doesn't seem like it's believable at all. But anyway, whatever. So at the beginning of episode 8, everybody is waking up. And, we have young, we have old, we have lesbians, we have gays, we have twinks, we have Henry's sister, Henry's nephew. We're all conjoined to party, and everybody had such a great time, they say, and oh my, they're sleeping on the floor and on the couch and stuff, and they're just like, oh my god, I haven't done this since I was 20, and Freddie has sex with all these people, and okay, so that's interesting enough, right? So, I'm not mad. I guess that morning, everybody is like enjoying themselves and happy and everything, and there's one super cute guy who has on one of those aprons and nothing else on. Hot. I wanted to see more of him, and he had big ears, I believe, which I like. So anyway, I don't know how it comes up. I think one of the girls that Henry must work with or something is talking about how she got evicted or something, and he's like, oh, we'll stay here. And he's like, you too, Freddie, you stay here. Actually, and he comes up with this bright idea. The nigga is unemployed, right? But he comes up with this bright idea of a collective. And, we can all stay here. We have 5 rooms, and we can just do double beds. And, we can all stay. You don't have to chip in for rent. I'll cover it. And they're like, okay, but you don't have a job. Oh, I'll work on that. That's going to be the collective. And I need my annoying lawyer friend and Freddie to come with me to get my job back. So what he does is make it seem like they let his company let him go because he was gay. And I felt like that was stolen from something else too, where they're trying to like trip the guy up with his words and everything. So anyway, he gets his job back. So yeah, the collective is in full swing. Freddie's like fucking everybody. And yeah, so then this is what happens. And let me just say that on the previous episode, I think 2 people said that it was, that Lance's death was Henry's fault. And I was with Henry. How is it my fault? Tell me how. So it took Lance's coworker to come to the house and, drop off his desk stuff, to make me understand. So, yeah, she comes, she sees the collective, and she's just kind of passing judgment. I mean, she's just kind of like, oh, okay, the collective. And, like, Freddie is on the ground with that guy that they were trying to chase down, and he's about to toss him off. I was mad at Freddie for being with that guy, because that guy had clearly shown that he was an asshole by saying, oh, well, ditch your friends and we can have a go or whatever. But anyway, Freddie is a whore. I like Freddie though. So anyway, she's talking to Henry, the lady who used to work with Lance, and I don't really remember how their conversation goes, but she's just saying, like, Lance was such a lovely person, and, he talked about you every day, but I remember when I first saw you, you were just this, negative. She was like the Toad from Toad Hall, and you were, really negative and down and, whatever. And she's basically saying, like, you forced him in that room. It was you. You forced him in that room, you locked him in there, and you left, And, I don't know, just the way that she was saying it, I was like, yeah, you know what, he kind of did. He kind of did, because, Henry has this way of pushing people away from him, and, that whole thing about, there's got to be one more cock out there for me. one more cock. Let me drink this coffee. Yeah. Okay, this is how I felt about Lance, and I think I said it in the recap for episode 6. I felt like Lance, after he proposed to Henry, and, Henry rejected him, and then after Henry had him fucking arrested, basically, I feel like, he had to say, it's totally done with us. I can't, yeah, whatever. So that, right? I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get my words together, but what I'm trying to say is that because Lance put up with no sex for 9 years with Henry, and then, at the end of their relationship, Henry treated him so cold and just totally treated him with no regard and, really rejected him and pushed him out. I think that Lance kind of felt like, Daniel might be out of my league. Daniel might be, this fantasy, but maybe I deserve a fantasy now. Maybe that's what, that's what's supposed to happen to me. Maybe, after putting up with Toad from Toad Hall and not even getting no dick all that time, maybe I deserve this with Daniel. Maybe I deserve this fantasy relationship or whatever. And so, yeah, I guess in a way, Lance did go into the room, ignoring all the warnings with Daniel, because he felt like this is meant for me. I deserve this. So, I don't know. Just something about the way that she said it made me say, like, yeah, Henry, this is probably your fault. So, after that, the collective is in full swing, right? But then we get a sort of timeline type thing of all the people moving out. And then it's just Freddie and Henry, and I guess the lawyer guy. I didn't know if the lawyer guy lived there or whatever, but there's a scene where Freddie comes back and it's just Henry and they're all eating dinner, him and the lawyer friend, and Freddie is like, oh, you turned me into Lance. We're here in this house. We're not having sex. We're doing relationship-y stuff, but, you manipulate people with your charm, and you're trying to make people have sympathy on you. You manipulate them into doing whatever it is you want or whatever it is you don't want to do, which is sex. And I can't believe I fell for it. And it was funny because the lawyer guy said,
Freddie, what have you got stuck up your ass tonight?
And he was like,
you, if you're lucky.
And do you know that lawyer shut his mouth? He didn't say shit else for the rest of the night. So, in an act of rebellion, Freddie and the lawyer guy sort of fuck. Freddie leads him into the kitchen and he gets on the countertop and, he's like, fuck me or whatever. And, they start fucking, and the lawyer guy probably has like one of these. That has nothing to do with anything. I just get that feeling from him. He just seems like he's trying way too hard to be cool and to be, I'm suave, look. So anyway, they're fucking, and Freddie's making all this noise. He's slamming pots and stuff down on the ground, and it's obvious that he's trying to get the attention of Henry, which is sort of similar to what Lance was trying to do when he brought that boy home. And then Freddie just leaves. So this is when we start our whole 6 months later, 1 year later, 6 years later. 6 years later, Henry sees Freddie randomly on the street, and they go and have a tea. And they talk. And Freddie talks about all the shit that he's done. He's traveled all over the world, and, you know, he got married and that ended badly, and he has these tattoos and stuff. Then Henry talks about, you know, how he sees Dean, and Dean, he's scared for Dean because he hangs around with all these thugs, and you know, Dean likes that rough love. There was that one episode where he, you know, got kidnapped by these two kind of burly guys. I thought that was so funny. So anyway, he just talks about the progress, how Daniel, you know, was obviously committed or whatever. Daniel was trying to use some kind of gay panic excuse and say that, you know, whatever. We don't care about all that, but he's committed. He's in jail, right? And then so, how it ends is Henry, he's saying, you know, oh, you know, there's been guys, you know, sort of been fucked, I guess. There's one particular guy that, whatever. At the end of it, Henry is just like, yeah, I just have to really, you know, come to terms with it. And Freddie's like, what? Lance's death? He's like, no.
Being gay.
And then it ends. So, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, he's 52 at this point, and I guess a lot of people would say, like, how could he live a gay lifestyle all these years and not come to terms with the fact that he's gay? I see it. I understand it. And I definitely see it thinking about the first episode when he's about to go to the dinner with his gay friends and he's like, oh, I hate these gays. All they do is blah, blah, blah. So, you know, so there's a lot of sort of self-hatred there. And that's probably why he's never freed himself up enough to get fucked. And that's probably why he pushes so many of these gay relationships away, because he just doesn't, he hates himself in a way. Which is believable, which is believable totally, but I don't know. I just don't feel like that was a good enough finale for the season. And I have to say that episode 7 and episode 8 kind of soured the show for me. I am curious what they're going to do about season 2, if it's going to be a whole new crop of people, a whole new cast. If they're gonna just bring certain people back or what, but I'm here for it. You know what this show has? It has great sex appeal. It's very sexy. I love the way that they shoot the sex scenes where you kind of like almost, you know, I love that. I love that it's funny, and I do love that they brought up issues in the gay community that aren't really talked about that much. And it's not like they had these huge, long discussions about some of these issues. But, yeah, I feel like they did a good job of representing the gay community in the whole, on the whole. Not in the whole, but on the whole. That's still nasty, though. Like, I don't know. There was just a few mentions of the whole gay for pay thing. I think I talked about that in the first video I did for this show. But, yeah, there were just a lot of issues that came up. A lot of, yeah. I enjoyed what the show was trying to do. I think it got a little comical and sort of unbelievable, you know, certain parts of it. But I appreciate it overall. I guess I would give this season probably like a B minus maybe. And you guys, I'm so hot right now. Like, I hate wearing black, because it always makes me sweat. What am I doing right there? I gotta get off of this thing. I've had too much coffee. In fact, this is my second one, and that's probably why I was so loud and stuff. So, anyway, that's it for Cucumber. Let me talk about Looking now, because Looking, in retrospect, I can see what Looking was supposed to be. I wish that they had sold it like that. I was watching Unsung last night, and they were talking about Baby Boy, and John Singleton was like, I want Baby Boy to be the blackest movie that we can make. And I'm like, you know, a white producer, a white director would never say that, because they would feel like, oh, if we say that, then they're going to think that we're racist. So let's just do a white show, but we can't say that what we want to do is a white show, because that's what Looking was. Looking was a white show. Looking was about white people in San Francisco and how they operate. And, you know, if that's the way that show was sold, I think I would have liked it better. I do overall like Looking. I just don't think that it was, I don't think that it was a show. It should have been like a Netflix show where you could watch all of them back to back to back, because week after week that show got boring as shit. But overall, I do think that it was a realistic sort of look at white folks. But yeah, that was the problem that I had with Looking, because I'm from San Francisco and I know how diverse San Francisco was. But yeah, so when I saw that it was mostly white folks, I was just kind of like, okay, well, where's the fucking diversity? But if they had sold it to us like this is about white folks, then I would have understood it a little bit better and I wouldn't have been so annoyed. But what I like about Cucumber in comparison is that, you know, it did include so many ethnic backgrounds. You know, at one point Freddie had an Asian little girlfriend, and, you know, we had lesbians, and it just, I think it represented a fuller scope of the gay community, and it talked about a lot of issues. And we had a lead character that was unsure of himself and, you know, making mistakes and seeing the repercussions of his mistakes. I got so annoyed on Looking that Patrick just got everything that he wanted and he never had any repercussions for all the fucked up shit that he would do and say to people, you know. So, Cucumber. I'm too energized. Okay, I'm gonna stop. So, please like this video. Please leave comments. Share the video and subscribe. I feel like I am not saying a lot, but that's okay. So enjoy. Bye.